Hey guys, this lesson is over time management, the time analysis project. I just wanted to make sure that you went through the instructions carefully. This is a major project. It's worth 100 points, which is 10% of your overall grade. So I want this to go well for you. The reason I opened it up last week, or week two, excuse me, week one, is so that you would be able to check it all out and get ready for tracking the information week two. All right, so here's the game plan. June 8th through the 14th are the days you're going to track. The way that this works best is if you go ahead and have filled out the hypothetical schedule where you are guessing how things are going to go during that time frame of June 8th through the 14th. And the idea behind that is to have all of it filled out before any of that occurs. So if you haven't done that yet, do it right now, and then come back to this, and then keep moving along. So here's the deal. The reason that this time analysis, time management thing is important is because how we spend our time says a lot about what our priorities are. Priorities are what we feel are important to us, right? So if I said, if I was a student right now and I said, I want to get all A's in my classes in college, but was spending all of my waking hours on this thing, um, and not studying and not doing the assignments and just kind of fiddling around, um, that's not really a priority, right? Because how my time is spent says everything about what my actual priorities are. So the point of this project is to look at what do you say is important in your life? Like, is spending time with your friends important? Do you have a significant other who you want to spend a lot of time with? Your family? How important is your job? And are you balancing that work, life, school balance? Because it's a hard one to do. Um, Especially with all the stuff that we have going on in our world right now. It's not impossible, but it is tough to do right now with everything. So, you have your first hypothetical, what you think is going to go on your plan schedule. All of the areas in that schedule need to be filled in because there's never a time where we're not doing something, right? If I said, what'd you do yesterday? And your answer was nothing. Well, it's not like you went into some vacuum in the universe. Rather, if your true answer was, I was staring at the wall in my room, then that's what you would fill in um, your plan, like, or what actually happened. So there's there can't be blanks, is what I'm saying. Now look, I have 5 kids. You can see pictures of them behind me. I don't need to be your mama. I'm your professor, and I'm glad to be your professor. And I've made decisions that did not reflect what I said were my priorities, and uh, that's called life. So, since none of us are perfect, I need you to actually be honest on this thing. Because if you say, well, I'm going to go work out 6 days and cross the street with little old ladies, um, and change the world in a wonderful way. I mean, those are all great aspirations, right? And please do, please do change the world, because we sure need it. But if your actual plan is to start partying Thursday night and roll through the 14th, then why you're not going to impress me, you're not going to help yourself by not being honest. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take this hypothetical plan of what you think is going to happen during the 8th through the 14th, and then you're going to actually keep track. My hand go. You're going to keep track on the reality, because then you have something to compare. Okay, it doesn't make any sense to do this thing twice at the end. Does that make sense? So you're going to have one schedule completed at the very beginning of this time frame. And the second schedule, every day, you need to keep track of what actually happened. So you can compare what you thought was going to happen to what actually happened. And then that's what you write about in your time analysis paper. You're going to answer the questions in the paper, but not as a questionnaire. So you're not going to say, number one, yes, number two, sometimes, number three, 35. This is not a questionnaire. This is a paper, and you're in college. So you're going to have an introduction. You're going to use the body paragraphs to answer those questions that I've posed to you in the assignment. And you're going to use some citations from your textbook. And you would cite your sources always. And then you're going to have a conclusion. Okay? So what are you turning in to me? Well, you're turning in what you thought was going to happen, schedule number one, the plan. You're going to turn in the second schedule, which is the reality, what actually happened. You're going to turn in your paper. It's a short paper. Keep it short, okay? And then you're going to cite those sources. So number 4 is probably tacked on at the end of your paper, but you need to cite that source or sources. MLA format, 8th edition. That's it. So you can't turn this thing in early before these dates have actually occurred. That's why the Dropbox is set up the way it is. You have to be able to live through the 14th to be able to analyze it, crank that paper out, and then turn it in. All right? So 17th is when this thing is due. All right, have fun with this. Like, actually pay attention to how you're spending your time. It matters. It matters a great deal. You're spending a lot of money to do college at Lone Star, and then when you plan to transfer, or if you plan to do all of your work through Lone Star, great. But spend this wisely. Spend this time very, very wisely. Okay? All right. Bye.